Counselor Accents Podcast. Two school counselors who love their jobs. Oh, and they happen to have Southern accents too. Bless their hearts.
I'm Kim Crumbly.
I'm Laura Rankford.
And together we are Counselor Accents.
And here is another 15-minute
Rubber Meets the Road
installment.
So Laura, today we're going to talk about, as school counselors, dealing with people that are hard to get along with.
Well, I'm really glad that we are addressing this because I feel like it's very timely.
Okay. I hope that you hear me, hear my heart, and I hope you take to heart.
It's been very difficult to get along with you today.
Okay. It has been like, if I could crawl through this computer and choke you.
You would have a hard time because I would have my hands on you first.
Oh, and with those arms, you'd get to me first. Oh, my goodness. But, you know, we are in the real world and in the work world, and we have had listeners who've asked about, and I remember in particular in one of our classes, we had a couple of counselors who really had a difficult time getting along with difficult people who are hard to get along with. And that, in some cases, has been the administrator, you know, in one of those cases. Not in our case.
Right.
But that makes it difficult when it is people that you work with every day. So where does your mind go to when you think about getting along with difficult people?
Well, just to jump right in, I would say that the first thing to remember in your relationships there at school, whether it's with coworkers, whether it's with parents, whether it is with your administrator, is to remember that as school counselors, number one, you are seen as a leader within your school. We've said it before, but ASCA says that you are a leader in your school, your community. And so I would say, just to put it simply, be the thermostat, not the thermometer. When you're a thermometer, your emotions rise and fall based on the room around you. But when you're the thermostat, you have the power to set the tone in the room. And so that's where my mind goes, just to, even when things may be bothering you, if we're teaching students to keep control of their emotions, we need to model that and not allow ourselves to get out of control angry or, you know, just
that's
really
so true.
Set the tone.
We always say, are you establishing yourself as a leader? Because, you know, ASCA says we are a leader. Nothing will ruin your reputation quicker than you getting in that, as you call it, Laura, animal brain. So while those around you might, you have to maintain that, like you said, those control of your emotions. One of the things that we have learned that serves us well is that we do not get our feelings hurt easily.
Right.
And so usually we say this also. Usually when people hurt you, it's generally not intended. It wasn't intentional. So when feelings are hurt, generally the person was not actually intending to hurt your feelings. So let's just say I get left out of an email, you know, and is that, am I going to let that ruin my day? Am I going to let that bother me? No. I mean, don't sweat the small stuff, right?
Right.
And when you're dealing with people that do sweat the small stuff, sometimes you just have to let it go. Just let it roll off your back and move on. And I think people around you start to see that you are a leader, because while others may lose control, you're not going to lose control.
Right.
So one thing is just don't take that in, and don't expect other people to fill a void in your life. You have got to feel confident within yourself without having everybody else doesn't have to be happy all around me. And usually, Laura, it's not even, there's usually a reason.
Yeah.
There's usually a reason, and we may not know what that reason is, but there is usually a reason. And sometimes it's just stopping if they're out of control, if it's a parent or if it's a coworker, and just saying, really what's going on. If you're getting all this anger, really what's at the bottom of this?
Well, there are so many points that I could make right now that based on what you just said. So it's just determining which direction we need to go next. But when you do keep in mind that everybody has a story and we don't know what's happened this morning with them, we don't know why they may be fussing at us. We don't know. But if we knew everybody's story, I've always said if everybody could wear a button that has their story on it, then I think we would have a little bit more grace and compassion on people around us, because we'd understand that, okay, they're actually worried about their daughter, or
Yeah.
okay, they actually had a fender bender on the way to school this morning, or something like that. We would know that their communication is coming from a place of stress.
And that's different, I think, than toxic people. I mean, I think there are toxic people in that you can have those in your workplace, and you realize this person, I can't fix this person. This is a toxic person. This is a toxic, and you still maintain your level of integrity, and on your part, you're going to do your job and do it professionally.
Another point that I would make, similar to that, is the acronym HALT. I always keep that in mind about myself. I'm going to feel things more intensely if I am hurt, angry, lonely, or tired. If there are things going on with me, then I'm going to misinterpret what people say and how they say it. And it's going to, or the H could stand for hungry, because that when I get hungry, I am a different person.
Yep.
But when I keep that, like, in the event that I do get my feelings hurt, which is very rare, I do have to stop and ask myself, HALT, am I any of these things right now? And most of the time, if I get my feelings hurt, the answer is yes.
Yeah. And really, when our feelings are hurt, were they really intentionally trying to hurt us? No, not usually. Usually
Right.
people are not actively out to get you. Now, like I said, there are those toxic relationships where that might happen.
Let me say this. I write in my Carol Miller planner every year in May, in the notes section, I write in that part, people are crazy in May. People are crazy. I think I need to add it in December too.
Yes, I agree. I was just going to say that.
But anytime you get close to school being out, it's like that. All I can think of is the extinction burst that we learn about in school counseling school, where when you're ignoring a behavior, it gets worse right before the extinction burst. And that's the only way I can explain it, is that everybody just there's so much tension. Right. So I just have to write it in my planner every
and
May.
Know that.
Well, in those times, tension is high, and so people are going to act differently.
And I think that a lot of people think that the school counselor is the person that they can feel that they can come complain to, and maybe they don't feel like they, I don't want to actually go to the principal or the administrator, but I'm going to let the school counselor know I don't like the way this is going. And so a lot of people just need somebody to vent, and sometimes we're that person. And again, that goes back to taking care of ourselves, and it's okay to take care of ourselves, because we take on a lot of other people's feelings, and so those feelings can be anger too. So, Laura, one of the things that we live by is take people at their word.
Yes.
And so we live by that. And if somebody says to me, I didn't do that, I didn't mean that, I take, until I know better, we take that. If at face value, that what they say is what they mean. And sometimes I think we feel like we've done something. I think our personalities are such as school counselors. Is everybody happy? I've talked with the teachers, and I just felt like this teacher may not, I was getting a look, or that she's not happy with this. And if you go to that person and they're like, no, and they really may be, but if they tell me no, I've done all I can do.
Yeah.
I'm taking you at your word. So I think that serves us well. Just take people at their word. If they say we're adults.
Right.
So if they choose to play childish games, then, you can't get on that level. So.
And along those same lines too, we have told each other before, just go on facts, because that paranoia will destroy you if you start imagining scenarios and, oh, I bet that they said this, or I'll bet they're unhappy about this.
What did they really mean?
Right.
And just go on facts.
Go on facts.
And so.
And I found this quote, and it reminded me of that. This is from somebody, and I'm going to destroy the name, but this person's first name is Indra, and the last name is Nooyi. Nui. But this person said, whatever anybody says or does, assume positive intent. You'll be amazed at how your whole approach to a person or a problem becomes different. And I thought that really goes along with what we're talking about, because when you just assume positive intent, sometimes we look at things with a glass half empty type approach, and it really does impact the way that you see things. So if we just imagine positive intent, then it kind of changes our outlook and the way, like, what we think people meant.
That is so good. That is so good. And, I think if we could imagine sunshine over everybody's head, or rain clouds, we know those teachers that come in with the rain clouds, and that really can spread to others, but so can that sunshine. So if we come in with that positive outlook, it spreads to the students, it spreads to our coworkers. And like you said, I remember hearing Ron Clark talk about, who was an educator, talking about, he was so bubbly and he's so energetic, and the neighboring teacher just couldn't stand him. And so he would shut his door, do his thing, but then he would go, he started asking her opinion, and he started asking, and she really probably just felt intimidated. So he broke through that. And when we can do that, I think it's a good thing. I think, like you said, if we give grace and look, and a lot of times we can mend those and make the world better and brighter.
I agree. And I think that's our job. Part of our job is to make the world better and brighter. Yeah. So I hope that you have paid attention to these things, and that you become a little bit easier to work with.
That you heard what I had to say, because it was for you.
You can join our Facebook group. Kim's not in there, so you can say whatever you want to say about her.
What do you want to say about me?
So join our Facebook group. Go check us out on Instagram. Give us a follow. Join our email mailing list if you want more of us, or unsubscribe if you think I really could use less of them. We're not going to get our feelings hurt. It's okay.
Because we just told you we do not get our feelings
hurt. We're okay
with
that. And is there anything else we have going on? We would love it if you would rate and review our podcast. And if you haven't joined our Teachers Pay Teachers, if you haven't given us a follow on there, just click follow, and then you'll know if we update anything there, which is rare, but
it's coming. We've got New Year's resolutions. They're going to happen. One of those was to make my sound better, which did not happen, but it's going to happen.
All of one episode.
Yeah. Okay.